So I'm going to start off reading Exodus 7, and then I'll provide some application and how this relates to our everyday lives on the back end. The Lord answered Moses, "See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. You must say whatever I command you. Then Aaron your brother must declare it to Pharaoh, so that he will let the Israelites go from his land. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh will not listen to you, but I will put my hand into Egypt and bring the military divisions of my people, the Israelites, out of the land of Egypt by great acts of judgment. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring out the Israelites from among them." So Moses and Aaron did this. They did just as the Lord had commanded them. Moses was 80 years old and Aaron was 83 when they spoke to the Pharaoh. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "When Pharaoh tells you perform a miracle, tell Aaron, take your staff and throw it down before Pharaoh. It will become a serpent." So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh and did just as the Lord had commanded. Aaron threw down his staff before Pharaoh and his officials, and it became a serpent. But then Pharaoh called the wise men and sorcerers, the magicians of Egypt, and they also did the same thing by their occult practices. Each one threw down his staff and it became a serpent. But Aaron's staff swallowed their staffs. However, Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not listen to them, as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pharaoh's heart is hard. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning, and when you see him walking out to the water, stand ready to meet him by the bank of the Nile. Take in your hand the staff that turned into a snake. Tell him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to tell you, let my people go, so that they may worship me in the wilderness. But so far you have not listened. This is what the Lord says. Here is how you will know that I am the Lord. Watch. I am about to strike the water in the Nile with the staff in my hand, and it will turn to blood. The fish in the Nile will die, the river will sink, and the Egyptians will be unable to drink water from it." So the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron to take your staff and stretch your hand over the waters of Egypt, over the rivers, canals, ponds, and all their water reservoirs, and they will become blood. There will be blood throughout the land of Egypt, even in wooden and stone containers." Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded in the sight of Pharaoh and his officials. He raised the staff and struck the water in the Nile, and the water in the Nile was turned to blood. The fish in the Nile died, and the river smelled so bad that the Egyptians could not drink the water from it. There was blood throughout the land of Egypt. But the magicians of Egypt did the same thing by their occult practices. So Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he would not listen to them. As the Lord had said, Pharaoh turned around, went into his palace, and didn't take even this to heart. All the Egyptians dug around the Nile for water to drink because they could not drink water from the Nile. 7 days passed after the Lord struck the Nile. So that wraps things up. And essentially how this applies or relates to our everyday lives is that no matter how powerful you are down here on earth, there's always room to be humbled. You can be on your high horse, you can be a billionaire, you can be a political leader, you can be in any powerful position, have a number of resources, but God is the ultimate king. And by God sending Moses and Aaron, at the end of the day, you can think about it as two random guys going to a political leader in the US, outside of the US, and basically asking that leader to free his people. At the end of the day, that ruler would most likely push him away, just like Pharaoh did. Then God has Moses and Aaron perform these miracle acts in front of the Pharaoh. God tells Moses and Aaron up front that Pharaoh's heart's going to be hard. He's probably not going to listen. Moses and Aaron perform the acts that God had asked, and Pharaoh's not impressed. He has these magicians, these people that can do similar acts, and so he just pushes them away. He's not really fazed by it. Basically, in short, we can all be humbled. We're going to be on our high horse at times. We're going to be extremely confident in the blessings that God has given us, but at the same time, we got to remember that at any point we can be humbled by anything. So walk with grace, be happy for the position that you're in, but just know that there's a higher power, which is God. He's watching over us, and he can humble us at any point. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you found value.